Today we have with us Brandi Hodges from the Craighead County Jonesboro Public Library. Brandi, thank you for joining us on Let's Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, there's a lot going on at the library. I know, we're filming in July, but school is around the corner, and that always means a whole lot at the library, right?
It is. We are actually planning a back-to-school event, so watch our website, libraryinjonesboro.org, for all of the details on that. We haven't had in-person programming since the COVID-19 outbreak in the beginning of 2020, so we're very hopeful with this, the first event we're going to be able to host, hopefully, in August, being an in-person event. So we've got that event coming up. We also have a big event planned for September.
That's incredible. What's it been like at the library during COVID?
So when it first started, we, as many businesses did, we closed our doors. We soon pick up curbside service, which is another thing that a lot of people have done. So we did curbside service, and that's still an ongoing service. So if for any reason you would like to receive books but not come into any of our buildings, our 8 branch locations are in our main Jonesboro branch, you can put books on hold, put DVDs on hold. Just make sure you select the branch that you wish to use, be it the Wiener branch or the Brooklyn branch or the Jonesboro branch as your pickup location. And then you can just stop by the library and pick those items up from the safety of your car.
Very nice. Are you still getting new books? Or have a lot of new books come out during COVID? How's it been?
Oh my goodness, yes. So there was a little bit of a slowdown with the production company, or not the production companies, but with the publishing companies there in the beginning. But we did curbside service, then we reopened the library in June of last year, and then we reopened fully this past spring. So as of May 2nd, we are back to our normal operating hours. You can come visit the library Monday through Friday from 9 until 7, and then Saturdays 9 to 5, and Sundays 1 to 5. And so we get boxes of books every single day. Every day there's things coming in, because we have our 8 branches around Craighead and Poinsett counties. We have the main branch here in Jonesboro, and then our 10th branch is going to be our Bookmobile. So we're working on getting the Bookmobile, which arrived right before the pandemic started last year, and it's just been sitting there not really going anywhere. But we are hopeful that this fall we'll have it fully stocked with its own library of books, and it will be able to go all across our service area, both Craighead and Poinsett counties, and service those communities in between where we have libraries.
That's fabulous. You know, we saw you at a recent event at Parker Park and with the Bookmobile, and Brandi, if you probably remember Brandi from the news, but you also will see her at random volunteering events around the community, and if it's cool, you often run into Brandi, and that's part of. Let's talk about you just for a second, but to tell me why do you do that? Why are you always out there with the people?
It's what I like to do. Any way I can serve the community and try to help Jonesboro be a better place, I feel like I'm doing my part.
That's cool.
And if I can do it with a library and have a bubble machine, even better.
You have a bubble machine?
We have a bubble machine. Actually, the children's library got a bubble machine this spring, and I thought, that's a fantastic idea. We need a bubble machine too. So whenever you see the bubbles, it's probably the library in some capacity. So come and see us.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So what are the kids like most that you guys do right now? Is there anything?
Well, right now and for the foreseeable future, for the next few months, the children's library is a little bit different looking, because we're adding on a 2,000 square foot expansion to the library, and so we weren't able to get some of the material that we needed for the outside work. And so to not pause the construction, the team moved indoors and is working on the renovations inside. Therefore, a lot of the children's book collection and our staff have moved into the round room.
Very nice.
So when you come to the library and you're looking for the storybooks, the easy readers, a lot of the collection is now going to be found in the round room, and that's where you'll also find our staff members who are there and happy to help you. Any of our kits, that's a big thing we did this past year, because we couldn't do in-person programming. We moved to craft kits. So, for example, each month they're going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 per age group. So that's kids, tweens, teens, and adults that you can sign up for and come by the library and pick up. Those are happening in the round room as well. So it looks a little different, but the kids, just anything they get to do, that's the thing that we miss the most during this past year, is getting to see the families, getting to see our regulars who would come in.
And so you've got some of the craft kits. You're talking about things for adults too?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's some people that I know, and I'm speaking for a close friend, that really have no skills when it comes to that type of thing.
We provide all the instructions. For example, some of the kits that we've done in the past have included a tie-dye kit. We've done things like craft kits that include paint. There was a marble paint pour kit, but it comes with all the instructions, and all of our staff members have been great to do instructional videos, and we post those on our Facebook page so that you can watch exactly how to do it and pause it and rewind in case you miss a step.
Well, that's some a point you right there too. Your Facebook page. Do you have a website?
So libraryinjonesboro.org is our website, and from there at the top of the homepage you can get to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube page, and any of our other social media channels. And that's where we've really reached out to the public this past year, and that's, if you look at libraries across the country and even other kinds of businesses, that's the main way we were able to connect with people. And so we've done videos, we've done live videos, we've done story times, a little bit of everything.
You had to create all this, but as almost everybody did, in their businesses or whatever. You had to have these probably long meetings and
learning on our feet.
Right.
Yeah.
But what do you take away most? Like what will last of what you've learned through all this process?
We learned really how to work together.
Okay.
And we already knew how to do that, but we had to shuffle the deck and figure out, how to still connect with people. The curbside service is a great service because with this new reality we're in, you don't know how things are going to change. So it's just a service that has helped us still connect with the public, get them what they need. In many cases, one of my favorite stories last year during when we were only doing curbside, a grandmother called and wanted to pick up books for her granddaughter. Her granddaughter doesn't live here. She lives somewhere else.
Okay.
But the grandmother would call and read books over the phone to her granddaughter.
That's a good story.
And she wanted to make sure that she didn't have things that she had already checked out. And so we're able to check her account and say, well, these are the ones you've checked out before. And she was like, okay, good. Because the granddaughter remembers. The
granddaughter remembers, and the grandparents sometimes don't. We're just going to leave it that way, right?
Right.
The whole situation now with people coming back into the library, are there particular rules that you have in place?
Our staff still wears masks, so when you see our staff members walking around, we'll have masks on. Our security team, they'll wear a mask as well, but we like it when you wear a mask in our building, but it's not required that you do so. We have hand sanitizer available throughout the building. We do have masks that if you don't have one, you can pick up and grab one. That's always subject to change as things continue to be in flux.
Things are in flux, and it's still smart, and I don't do it well enough myself because I've been vaccinated, and then we started to relax and feel like we were trying to get back to normal, and now it appears that we may have not so much normal. So it's probably a good idea to keep those masks that you had if you haven't been wearing them. And I say that to teach myself, to remind myself that.
But you'll also see plexiglass, all of our workstations, including the areas in between the public computers. Our numbers are down from what they were a year and a half ago because people are still being cautious. There are many people who haven't, come back to the library.
When you say numbers, you mean people showing up at the library?
Yeah.
Okay.
So our visitors,
right,
if you will, to the library. But we want to remind everyone that, hey, we're here. We would love for you to come and see us. We have new books all the time. We have new DVDs. I haven't looked at statistics recently, but it used to be, and it likely is, our DVDs are one of our most checked out selections at the library. All of our branches are open, but they are open by appointment only. So I just want to remind
The
people
branches.
that we have all of those wonderful branches available. Our Brooklyn branch opened mid-pandemic, so it wasn't there before, but it's ready and willing
Brand new
to.
open,
It's a
huh?
brand new
Oh.
branch we have available for people to come and visit. So that's one thing I just wanted to stress to people is many people still will message us on our social media platforms and say, hey, when are you going to open? We are open and we're ready to help you.
That's wonderful. Now, tell people who don't have a library card how to get one.
Okay, getting a library card is a little easier now than it ever was before. Before, it was really easy. So you can stop by the library or any of our branches, and you can bring in a driver's license that has your current, or a photo ID that has your current mailing address on it. You know, that you live in our service area where you currently live. However, if you've recently moved to our area, maybe you moved from where your driver's license says you lived to another place in town, bring a piece of mail with you, bring a lease with you, a light bill, anything that shows that you live in that location. 3 or 4 minutes later, you have a library card. It's as easy as that. So if you recently have moved to town, but you have a new apartment, that's perfect. That works just fine. And you can now register for a library card online. Just go to our website, libraryinjonesboro.org, and from there, you can, there's a little scrolling tab on our homepage, and you can click that, and it takes you to the form to register for a library card.
Now, if you've had a library card, and I'm asking for a friend again, and you happen to misplace it or don't know where it is at the moment, do you do the same process? Do you go through that, or do you just say, hey, I lost my card?
You say, hey, I lost my card, and it's a $2 replacement fee.
Okay.
But that gets you access to so many materials. I can email you some statistics because I don't remember them off the top of my head. But just the sheer number of materials that we've added, the things that we have checked out over the different time periods. Last year, the number of ebooks and e-audiobooks that we purchased was a lot higher than those numbers would have been in the past because that's what people were reading.
Right.
And we also, our numbers of checkouts of those were much higher than they've been in the past.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anything else we'd like to talk about, Brandi?
We have a lot of great other resources that you can use at the library. So databases are a great resource that we have. So if you have, say, a young future driver in your household, we have access to a database that has the driver's test on it. You can take the motorcycle. You can take a CDL practice test. It doesn't get you, the license, but it's a practice test.
It prepares you for it.
To get you prepared. There's also the Testing and Education Reference Center, which is something I wish that we had access to, when I was in high school, because it teaches you some different science and math. It's got videos to help you learn. It also has some professional resources. So you can take a real estate practice test. For people who are in graduate school, they can take some of the different, getting into graduate school practice tests. So there are a lot of great resources. Libby is a great resource for anyone who wants to read ebooks or audiobooks. Libby is teen and up titles. There are some juvenile titles, so some children's fiction and nonfiction, but there aren't a lot of titles, which is why we have Access 360. It's any time you want to check out anything that's an ebook, audiobook, and that's one of my favorite resources because you get a book right in your hand. So if you're the kid that was me sometimes in high school and even in college, and maybe you forgot to read the book, I'm not saying you did, but maybe you can check it out online if it's available.
That's good.
But we, in the fall of 2019, joined the Arkansas Digital Library Consortium, where we joined our collection with collections of libraries across the state. So we have a kind of melded, a meshed collection, so we have a lot more availability than we did before.
That's so cool. Brandi, thank you for taking time to visit with us on Let's Talk Jonesboro. Brandi Hodges, check out the library. Go to libraryinjonesboro.org and check them out on Facebook or all the other platforms of social media. I'm sure Brandi's got that lined up. And find her at the Bookmobile too. It'll be out and around. So, thank you, Brandi.
Thank you.